We are created above all other creatures in our abilities of thought, speech, and action. We have also been given feelings which became the driving force of our abilities. The brain is a cold organ where logic resides, and the heart is a hot organ where emotions reside. In order for us to make the best decisions and actions, we must find a balance between the cold, logical brain and the hot, emotional heart. A widow who loses her spouse experiences a physical disconnection from her life partner. In Judaism, there are mourning steps that are taken to help with the healing process. A divorce is also a death. It is a death of a holy union called marriage. For the most part, men and women go into a marriage with the hope of a lifelong partner. Most people don't go into it with the hope of separating the union. Rabbi Yoshiao Pinto teaches that en k'tuba lelo machloket, there's no marriage without strife. When God gave the commandment of marriage to the Jews after they left Egypt, they were instructed to leave their parents and cleave to their spouse. Instead of rejoicing and making it an amazing event, they cried. They said, "Oh, bochela mishpachtam." They cried for their families. It's hard for me without my mom. It's hard for me without my dad, my brothers, sister, grandparents. It is in our hands to make sure that the marriage survives its challenges. If it goes unchecked, the strife in the marriage can turn into a virus that infects everyone in proximity. Children, in-laws, extended family, close friends. Just as one goes to a doctor to heal the body, a couple with an unhealthy marriage must be treated by professionals for the sake of its existence. Also, everyone involved must be very careful on how they speak of this couple. Unless the words are used to help the couple and the children heal, negative talk of this marriage must be contained. At a point in which death of a spouse or divorce happens, the mourning process begins. There's a beautiful tradition in Jewish burial that the living who were hurt in any way by the deceased is verbally forgiven. They say machul, forgiven, 3 times. Forgiveness is an essential part of a healing process, even if it wasn't directly asked. We are taught by our forefather Abraham on how to mourn. In the Torah portion Chayei Sarah, the death of Sarah is narrated. It describes how Abraham responds to the loss of his lifelong beloved Sarah. And it says, Vayavo Avraham lispot leSarah velivkota. Abraham came to eulogize Sarah and weep over her. The letter Kaf in Livkota is written with a small kaf to show that the full extent of his weeping was done privately. He had infinite grief, but the level of his pain was hidden in his heart, in the privacy of his own home. She passed away at the time of Akedah, and their son Isaac was still unmarried. Abraham was still responsible for the continuation of his wife's legacy. Although he was heartbroken, he didn't fall into depression, but he also didn't ignore the pain. He pushed off his feelings to a time where he can fully express it and do it privately. With the loss of a spouse, either by death or divorce, there are many emotions that one faces. Suddenly, the responsibility of 2 people falls on the shoulders of one person. Some have children to raise alone, find means of income that will supplement, and serious changes to the family structure occur. In order for these responsibilities to be done properly, the flames of the emotions must be reduced. A specified time and place can be set aside to deal with these emotions. For example, a weekly session with a therapist can be set up so that when the emotions creep up during the week, it can be set aside a certain time slot to be dealt with, so proper decision can occur. Numbing the emotions with substances, unhealthy outings, or actions will eventually backfire. The Jewish mourning lasts about a year. After this point, the focus needs to be put into increasing happiness. As for positive emotions, take steps to help them surface. You can do actions such as taking walks regularly, yoga, meditation, bath, a small gift to yourself, a lunch date with a good friend, singing, dancing, prayer, listing the good in your life. Whatever your love language is, give love to yourself, because when you are in a happy state, your life becomes more productive and worth living. You are then capable of giving correctly to others. No matter what the challenge we have a warrior inside of us that can take on whatever we are forced to face. There's a tip I learned from my mentor, Rabbanit Chassia. When it gets difficult, open up a window and ask for the negative thoughts and energies to respectfully leave you and your home. This practice gives you the sense of sending out the strife that is present. So once Abraham had arranged for his son's marriage, and the destiny of the Jewish people moved on to the next generation, the Torah speaks of Abraham's remarriage to Hagar, who is called Ketorah, or incense. It is said that her deeds were as beautiful as incense, and she remained unwed while separated from her husband. We learned that even a marriage that has ended has the potential of being reborn, as long as the couple worked on developing and improving their character traits. There is a couple who recently remarried during this COVID-19 pandemic after about a 20-year divorce. Even though it was risky to attend, all of their children and grandchildren went out of their way to be present and give their blessings. It was the most emotional wedding that the whole family had experienced. Every marriage is unique in its own way. The potential of a happy and healthy marriage is present, but the work is required. Some need more work than others, but even in irreversible divorce, a healthy communication between the two is possible if each person is willing to put in the work in developing their own characters and developing their own flaws without waiting for the other person to change. By decluttering our emotions, we will be better equipped to navigate our actions and our lives. Sweet blessings to us all.